Welcome to my class. I am Ranjan Barman, and in this video I am going to teach about have verbs and their uses. So before we start, we have to know what is have verb. What is have verb? We can consider have verb like the other verbs. What we have like other verbs? Do is a verb. Play is a verb. Go is a verb. See is a verb. So these are the verbs. That means actually every verb means to do, to work. Every verb refers to some kind of work. So unlike these verbs, have is also a verb. And from the previous videos, we know that every verb has four parts. We can classify the verbs like this. It is not important to remember the name of every classification, but I am going to write that names. Like this is present, this is past, this is past participle, and this is present participle. So always remember, we can classify every verbs in four forms. If you don't want to remember these names, then you can just tell it 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we can say that the verb is in first form, second form, third form, or fourth form. So for do verb, the forms are do does, second is did, third is done, and fourth is doing. So like this verb do, we have some different forms of the other verbs. So I am not going to discuss about the other verbs. I will tell about have verbs. Have verb. So the forms of have verb is have, has, had, having. Though you can see the second form and the third form are the same, it looks same, but it is not same. Like this had form can be used after subject directly. We can write it like subject plus had, and then we can tell this form is verb's second form. But this form is not like the second form, and we cannot use like this. If we are talking about this form, that means subject plus there must be have, has, had, or be verbs. This is the form of when we are talking about the passive tense. But for now you can consider there must be have, has, had, and after that we can use verb's third form, that is here. I'm not going to write had here, but I am writing verb 3. But I can write also had here, because now we are talking about the have verb. So have is also a verb, like do, play, go, see. Though you have to remember also that have is auxiliary to. Have is an auxiliary verb. Like we can use have directly as main verb. Also we can use have as auxiliary verbs. So what are auxiliary verbs that we should know? That auxiliary verbs, mainly the basic auxiliary verbs are do, be, have. These three are the basic auxiliary verbs. But in these three verbs, do is a main verb also, and have also is a main verb also. Though there are some modal auxiliary, semi-modal auxiliary verb, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about have verb, because have verb is so confusing for many students, and so that I am taking this extra class for only have. So what we have learned, that is, these are the main verbs. Also in these verbs, do and have are auxiliary verb also. There are three basic auxiliary verbs. Those are do, be and have, and in these three basic auxiliary verbs, do and have are also a main verb. I will explain these confusing methods later in another videos, but for this video now I am going to tell in more details about have verb and their uses. So we know that there are three tense: present, past and future. And each tense has four parts. Like this is called indefinite or simple. This is called continuous. This is called perfect. And this is called perfect continuous. So you may have seen in my previous videos about this tense box. And in this box, in the case of rule 1, that means when subject is working directly, then we use rule 1. And the sentence structures of rule 1 is like subject plus tense plus object. When the sentence structure is like this, though this is a statement sentence, and if I'm going to be more specific about the sentence, then I can also tell this is a affirmative statement. Actually, that means there is no negative sense. So when we are talking about rule 1, that means subject is involved in any kind of work directly. This is not indirect. subject is directly involved in some kind of work, then at that time we use rule 1, where this kind of sentence structure is used. So I have written here tense. What is tense? So there are three types of tense: present, past, future, and each tense has 4 parts. So that means there are total 12 tenses, or you can say also times. That is basically, this is very basic. We have 12 tenses or times. So in this box we can write present tense, present indefinite or present continuous, present perfect or present perfect continuous. Also we can write future indefinite, future continuous, and so on. So if I write here, I do a work, this is present indefinite tense, I do a work. So here the meaning is subject is involved in a work directly. This is now in active sentence, active form. So this is present indefinite and this sentence is now active form. So what is the relation between this sentence with have verb? Why I am talking about these things when I am trying to explaining about have verbs? So things are related like mathematical formulas here. I can write here I have in the place of do. That's why I gave such an example of this sentence. Like in the place of do I can write have, but after writing have I cannot write a work. I cannot use here objects like a work. So when we use have verb, then we cannot explain any object. There are some specific meanings and some specific use when we use have verb. Like if we take our breakfast, that means if we eat something, so the verb we know eat. We can use have verb in the place of eat. Also we can use have verb in the place of take. Like I'm giving one example, I have my breakfast. Okay, but we can also write here I eat my breakfast, or also we can write here I take my breakfast. I am adding some more here. In the morning. So I have my breakfast in the morning. I eat my breakfast in the morning. I take my breakfast in the morning. These three sentences meaning are same. The meaning generates this sentence I eat my breakfast is the second sentence is generating the same meaning, like I take my breakfast, and so, and like the same way I have my breakfast in the morning. This sentence has the same meaning like this, the second and third. So this is the use of have verb. So we can use have verb in the place of eat and in the place of take. Second example I'm going to give, that is the second sentence I wrote, I have one injection in a day or a day. So what is the meaning of this sentence? Like we could write it like this, I take one injection in a day. That means the subject has some problem, like some disease it can be, or some other problems, and he's in the habit of taking injections, and so he's saying that I take one injection in a day, or I take one injection a day. So in the place of take we can use have. As I told, in the place of eat and take we can use have. And if I change the tense, also the rule will be applied with the have verb, like the way that I am going to write here. Like in the case of do, we will write have. This is present indefinite tense. In the place of am is are, am or is or are plus doing, we will write am is or are plus having. This is present continuous tense. So what I have changed here, that is in the form of in the place of doing, I just have changed with have, having. And for perfect, present perfect, have or has plus done, we will write have or has plus had. So here in the place of done I have used had here. I should tell one very important matter, that is that in this one class it is not possible to explain have verb fully. So I assure you that in some days I will give more information on this have verb. And then if we consider this is present perfect tense, present perfect continuous, that is have or has plus been plus doing, we will write have or has plus been plus having. This is present perfect continuous tense. So you can see what I am doing is just replacing the main verb with the same form of have verb. Like in the place of do, I have written here have. In the place of doing, I have written here having. In the place of done, I have written here had. So like the same way, in the place of did, I will write here had. But this is verb second form and this is verb third form. You have to remember this, because when you use had after subject, or when you use verb second form after the subject, that is did, went, played, saw, you can use it after the subject, and with the formula you can know, and you know that the form of verb that is used after the subject, that must be verb's second form if that is past, and you cannot classify it whether it is past or past participle. Like there are some verbs, they have similar classifications, like played, cut, had. For some verbs, like it is different, like went, gone, saw, seen, sang, sung. So we can classify it by the names, by the spellings, by the different pronunciation, but we cannot classify for some verbs like play verb, played, like had verb, have verb, had, cut verb, cut. You cannot classify it whether it is verb second form or verb third form. So we have to know that after subject only we can use verb second form, and verb third form cannot be used after subject directly. If we want to use verb third form, that means we have to use it like subject plus have or has or had. After that we can use verb's third form. It can be have, it can be has, it can be had for active sentence, or you can tell it like you can even consider it like it is rule 1, and I'm not talking about some passive sentences like voice change. And if you are using voice change, that means there after subject you must have to use a be verb, and after be verb you cannot use verb second form. There you have to use verb's third form. If you are using any verb in a passive sentence, then the format is totally different than this, that I will talk on that topic later. But for now, this is the basic tutorial on the have verbs. Actually, I have not talked that deep here, but if I take some more classes on this topic, then it will be more clear to understand. Thank you for watching this video.